Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here and welcome to Coach Dee Presents. Oh, I meant that minute, didn't I? Coach Dee Presents Healing Conversations with Masc Presenting Queer Women. I really appreciate all of you for being out here today. This is the first time Resource Center has hosted something quite like this before, so this is a really big deal. And you're probably wondering who this stranger is talking to you. This is the first time I've been in front of you, right? So, hi, I'm Samuel Jones. I'm the Family and Community Services Manager here at Resource Center, and it is through a collaboration with my office that this is happening today. So, the center wanted this here, Coach Dee wanted this here, I wanted this here, and look at y'all. Y'all wanted to be here. So, I did want to say also, the food. How's the food? Real quick.
Amazing.
Good. Wonderful. So, Oaklawn Place is actually the sponsor for this event, because here's the thing. Even though we're a nonprofit here at Resource Center, we don't ask anybody to work for free, all right? So Oaklawn Place has sponsored the Chef Jesse and Elegant Rosa to prepare the charcuterie display that you're eating off of. And they even paid the fee for Coach Dee to come here and facilitate this talk. Oaklawn Place is an up-and-coming, affordable, LGBTQIA+ affirming senior living facility that's going to be opening this summer. But more information about that later on. So, let's talk a little bit. I'm so excited on time. Let's talk a little bit about the event. So, of course, Coach Dee is who you all are here for. She's the person behind this. She's the one who's designed these healing conversations, and this is the first time that it's taking place in person. So it's a really big deal. And the purpose of this is to give space, give attention, give opportunity for the voices of masc-centered queer women to be heard. Because within the community, it can be rare that healing spaces such as these exist. And we gotta start somewhere, right?
Right.
So, what I want you to really think about as you're taking all of this information in, right, is how does this apply to you? How does this apply to the people that you love? When you hear the panelists up here tell their stories, who does it make you think of? What portions of your life comes up? What memories come about? Because this isn't just for you to view, this is for you to have something to take away from and do something with. We want to be able to change your life with what's shared here today. Otherwise, what's the point other than the food? And finally, I want to say that Resource Center is the venue that we're in. Resource Center has provided this space so that we can all come together and have an event like this. Resource Center wants gatherings like these because we understand the importance of community in all types of different facets. And that includes Black, masc-centered lesbians, and those who love them, those who are in arms with them, queer women in general, and we are making intentional efforts to do more for you all here. So, without further ado, DJ, because y'all ain't here for me, that's why I'm dressed all loud, I want you to see. Start the music. I'd like to introduce Coach Dee and her esteemed
ahead and get started. Sam, thank you for everything. Sam's amazing. Y'all give Sam a hand clap. I'm pretty sure he already introduced me. He's so great. We put this together, been doing a lot of work, so I appreciate Sam. I'm Coach Dee, of course. I want to introduce the panel. Look at us looking all fly and lovely up here. Like, it's been amazing, like the connection that we've all made. This is dope. So let me go ahead and introduce the panel, and then when we get ready to, when I introduce them, before we start the discussion, I want to do a quick breathing exercise with everybody, because I like to breathe. I like to, I practice a lot of meditation and mindfulness, and I definitely believe in taking that time to center ourselves, especially before we have these discussions, all right? So before we do that, let me go ahead and introduce the panel. First, we have the Keith Award. Meet the Keith Award. Keith, put your hand up. Throw that hand up. She was imprisoned by childhood trauma, hiding behind the pain of her reality, living recklessly, searching for freedom, self-medicating while maintaining an image her 7 younger siblings will define as strength. After her grandmother passed 10 years ago, ripping the scab off those childhood abandonment wounds, she surrendered all to align with God's plan for her life. 10 years later, she's engaged to her childhood best friend, a mother of 2 boys residing in Plano, Texas, a managing consultant project manager, a career advisor, a co-leader of RSM Pride ENG, a certified personal trainer, nutritionist, and a salt shaker of God's life on earth. She's a proud, positive product of South Dallas, Texas. And y'all had them send these bios to me, by the way. I'm gonna challenge y'all. Since Leon ain't already crying, are you?
Oh, I'm just gonna have to go.
All right. Isabel Mosley. Meet Isabel. Isabel, Izzy is true Mosley, has a passion for serving youth. Isabel, raise your hand. Yeah, you over there looking all sexy and stuff. Has a passion for serving youth and their families with over 10 years of experience in the social work field. Isabel has a bachelor's in psychology, doing supportive counseling, outreach work, character building, and today providing prevention education all across Monmouth County in the schools and local communities. Isabel is a leader and shows it through the way she brings people closer to themselves and their purpose. She shows strength in connecting with others through creative expression. Isabel was born and raised in New Jersey. She curates unique media content online and shares fundamental reminders through creative expression in her free time. She loves poetry, music, dancing, singing, rapping, and writing. Her greatest reminder and truth is her beautiful 3-year-old niece, with life's redirection, is now her beautiful 3-year-old daughter. Yes, that's Isabel. Jazzy, looking all snazzy. Meet Jazzy, the poet. Jazzy is a single mom to a 12-year-old active daughter. She is passionate about breaking generational curses for the generations after her and before her. She is learning to reparent herself so she can give her daughter the life she deserves. Jazzy started her self-love journey with me as her mentor and coach 2 years ago. Since joining my coaching program, she has leveled up her confidence, uses her voice authentically, and finds independence in every aspect of her life. Jazzy recently conquered her fear of sharing her poetry at an open mic event. She is creating her life fearlessly since choosing to love herself. Give it up for Jazzy! These are beautiful, y'all. I wanted to hear mine. Marsha. Meet Marsha, a resilient individual who has triumphed over adversity as a cancer survivor. This tenacious spirit has embarked on a diverse journey, navigating through various trades from the dynamic world of bartending to the open roads as a truck driver, and finding solace and purpose as a compassionate massage therapist. Marsha is also a passionate podcaster. She started Still Standing on YouTube last year, weaving narratives that resonate with audiences far and wide. Beyond these diverse professions, Marsha is on the brink of adding another chapter to her life story as she embarks on the path of becoming an author. Give it up! This upcoming venture is not merely about recounting personal experiences, but aims to inspire and connect with others, sharing the profound lessons learned through a life filled with unexpected twists and turns. With an unwavering love for people, Marsha envisions a world where each interaction has the power to make a difference. Driven by the desire to leave a positive impact, she aspires to change lives, one story at a time. Right. Give it up for Marsha! Cicely. Cicely, meet Cicely Moore. Cicely would be what most consider a typical country girl, born and reared in a very small town near Lake Charles, Louisiana. Cicely was nurtured in a large, affectionate family that instilled in her at a very young age the values of love, family, community, and leadership. In 2006, Cicely took a pivotal step by founding an organization for masculine presenting lesbians, Gamma Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. The organization is rooted in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and recently chartered in Texas and Georgia. As a dedicated humanitarian, Cicely is also an author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and relationship coach along with her wife. Cicely launched a movement in 2022 called More Love, Less Hate. It is her life's mantra of promoting love, positivity, and peace. Give it up for Cicely. Let's go. Traveled all the way from Louisiana, and Isabel all the way from Jersey. Gotta love her. Athena. Meet Athena Allen. Athena is 34 years old, originally from Detroit, but moved to Dallas 3 years ago. About a year into living here, with the help of her brother, she created the Boaz Playpen Erotic Experience. It is a special erotica event dedicated to women only, where you get to experience erotic poetry, sensual dance, and kink performances. Woo! That made me a little hot. She is also the co-creator of Let's Get Kinky DFW, a group dedicated to women only that promotes a safe and judgment-free environment for women to express themselves through kink and BSDM. Through their community, they host many events for members that involve meet and greets, educational seminars, demos, and just all-out fun and freedom for self-exploration. She is the director of operations at Diamond Suite Venue in Duncanville, which is owned by her girlfriend and partner, Jessica. Where's Jessica? What's up, Jess? That's my baby. Athena's mission is to help others feel less guilty about their pleasures as they accept all parts of themselves. Give it up for Athena. And last, but certainly not least, Cece Cox. Y'all give it up for Cece. She's the CEO of the Resource Center. Cece is recognized for her long-time effective leadership and advocacy in the LGBTQIA+ civil rights movement. She serves as the CEO of the Resource Center, which provides LGBTQIA affirming resources designed to improve health and wellness, strengthen families and communities, and provide transformative education and advocacy. The center serves more than 60,000 people annually with a staff of over 85 employees and 1,100 volunteers. Cox was instrumental in the passage of the City of Dallas's sexual orientation non-discrimination policy, the Dallas Independent School District's first anti-harassment policy, and its subsequent anti-bullying policy. Cox is a board member and former co-chair of the national organization CenterLink, a board member of the Visiting Nurses Association of Texas, a member of the Dallas Mavericks Advisory Council, and a board of the Alumni of Texas Women's Foundation. In 2016, Cox was recognized as LGBTQ Texan of the Year by Dallas Voice. Dee CEO has named her numerous times as top 500 business leader. In June 2017, Cox was selected as a winner of the Dallas Business Journal's Women in Business Awards, and in 2021, she received the Jubilee History Maker Award from the Dallas Historical Society. She serves as a community fellow for the Inns of Court at SMU's Dedman School of Law. Cox is a former professional photographer who co-authored a book chronicling the 1993 March on Washington for gay and lesbian rights. She earned a bachelor's degree in journalism from Northwestern University and is a proud alumni of SMU's Dedman School of Law. Give it up for Cece Cox. Woo! After reading that, that was so inspirational. I'm trying to be like you, Cece.
Oh, not to interrupt, but to interrupt.
Go ahead, Sam.
Not so fast.
Okay.
I wanted to surprise you with your own introduction as the woman behind it all. So let's get into Coach Dee. Coach Dee. She calls Dallas, Texas her home, but was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. By profession, she is a masculine-centered queer life coach and owner of Detox Life Coaching Services. 3 times author, model, speaker, and proud co-owner of a salon suite business called Creative Beauty Salon Spa and Suites located here in Duncanville, Texas. Coach Dee has been featured numerous times over the years in local magazines such as Voyage Dallas, shout out DFW, Dallas Observer, and the Dallas Voice. She was also featured on NBC DFW Channel 5 News here locally for her incredible work in giving back to the community. Her life's mission revolves around helping people, especially those within the queer community, find radical self-acceptance through self-love and healing from inner childhood trauma. She spent the last 15 years working in the social services and mental health sector. And even after earning a master's degree in psychology, she knew that there was a unique path she needed to follow to fulfill her true purpose. Coach Dee has found that standing in her truth unapologetically, has been the most liberating journey, breaking through stereotypes and societal norms that keep us caged in our souls. In her words, she stated, "I've liberated my sexuality, my mentality, and the duality to be fluid in how I express myself authentically." I know that's right. "I became the love I so desperately used to seek, and it has elevated my confidence and soul. And now I get to share this healing with others." Y'all give it up for Coach Dee.
Sam, that sounded so sensual. Things that, like I found that a lot of us struggle to talk about, especially being, masculine presenting or masculine-centered. We don't always have the safe space to talk about things. And one thing I do love, when I came up with this quote, it came to me in a dream last year, starting virtually, and I was like, I gotta bring this in person because the virtual responses were so great. I knew that we needed to do this. And it also was an embodiment of me standing fully in my truth too, owning that, hey, I'm masculine presenting, and I wanna talk about some things, some healing. So let's start this out with Cece. Oh, we need the mic. Where's Sam? Sam, do we have another mic that we can put over here?
Of course. Do you want it to already be on?
Yes, please, sound you loud. Okay, Cece, so I'm gonna ask you this question. As a C-suite executive or CEO in a leadership role, what are some strengths you have enriching the growth of the organization, and what are some challenges you face or have faced? So what are some strengths in enriching, or what are some challenges too?
Well, I was given these questions ahead of time, so I appreciate that. But truthfully, I struggled a little bit because I think that I would answer these questions differently if it had been 10 years ago, and I've been in the CEO position here at Resource Center for 14 years, and the longer I stay, I'll answer them differently in a couple years from now, I think. But some of the strengths I think I've been able to bring to the job are, and I think also sometimes your strengths can I'll give an example. So I think one of my strengths is that I give people, so I have to manage a lot of people, and think about the strategy of the organization that has 90 employees. So there's a lot of things to think about. And in terms of the employees that I interact with and that I'm directly responsible for, I am someone who just my life pattern is try to give a lot of grace, because I was given a lot of grace growing up and in my adult life as well. And I tend to give people a lot of chances, even when they're basically falling short. And even that is a little like, what is falling short? But there are ways to measure things, and certain things that need to be done in the way we want to create cultural norms in interacting with one another and the respect we bring to one another in the workplace and out in the community. So I think that's been a strength, that I've tried to be aware when people are having a struggle. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to overcome that struggle. Doesn't mean they can't have another chance. If they made a mistake that impacts a bunch of people, it doesn't mean that they have to be exited out or that they themselves have some giant flaw. It just means a thing happened. Sometimes it means that. So I think that has been appreciated, and it's helped us create a culture of tolerance and nurturing one another. Every now and then, that can go too far, and sometimes you have to cut and say, like, if somebody's not measuring up, find a way that's truthful, and that has been a real struggle for me. So just a minute ago, that resonated when Samuel was introducing you and talking about, and it's come up with a number of folks here in the introductions, speaking our truth, right? Speaking the truth, like Brene Brown says, being direct is kind. Well, that being direct is something that I didn't always have modeled for me. I was brought up in the South. Well, I was brought up in Oklahoma, so it's the Southwest. Just the dynamics of my family were such that I was supposed to be a good girl, like a nice girl, which meant don't cause a ruckus, don't say unkind things, and that can send a signal. I mean, kindness is good, but it can also send a signal to a young person growing up that you just need to keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And if you do speak up, then you're a troublemaker. Yeah. So, all that. I'm kind of taking a while to answer your question, but that's one strength, but I'm trying to make the point that your strengths also, I have found benefit in looking at what I might sometimes define as my strength, and I want to make sure that, am I using it as a strength, or are there ways I could make it even stronger, or does it have some weak components to it too? And then I don't want to talk the whole time, but to answer your question fully, I'll say I think I've tried to be effective and therefore create a strength, try to turn that hesitancy or those cultural messages that I got into a strength of when is it appropriate to use my voice, what is my voice, and not the tapes or like everybody else telling me what I was supposed to say and what I wasn't supposed to say and how I was supposed to say it and when I was supposed to say it, but to really figure that out for myself and try to use that, because that resonates with people. I have to do a lot of activism, and sometimes I'm in spaces where I'm with people that I really disagree with and they're harming the community. But I'm also in very intimate spaces where I'm with a colleague, I'm with a client who is really needing some sort of help. So to try to figure out what my appropriate voice is in those moments.
Okay, thank you. Wow. I mean, I can imagine it's a lot, being, a leader, even being in community, growing a community, being a CEO, it takes a lot, especially dealing with different people, right? You probably can vouch for that as well. Okay, well, let's get into this panel. Thank you, Cece, for that. Whoever want to go first, you take the mic. But I want to say, when did you first identify with being masculine presenting? How did it feel to accept yourself through that identity? Don't be shy.
So, since I already have a mic.
Go ahead. You look great, but you finna
I'm ready. Let's go. I would definitely say in my childhood is when I probably didn't recognize it at that time, but I always wanted to, dress the way I wanted to dress. I always wanted to dress comfortably and loosely. I've always felt if I was made to wear a dress or a skirt or anything that was considered feminine, it made me feel that I was sort of being told to be something that I didn't resonate with. It was sort of like this expectation. And when I let that go, it was just, I enjoyed being with myself more.
Yeah,
So.
let's go. Thank you, Izzy. Who else want to answer that question? Go ahead, Boaz Playpen.
For me, of course, it goes back to childhood again. I was an athlete even from 6 years old. So it was really difficult for my mother to keep me in dresses because I was always outside. So it was like, okay, I'm either going to get this dirty or you're just gonna put me in some shorts and a t-shirt and let me be. So childhood, of course, and then started getting older. And it was a lot of different stages, even in high school, with my dating life. A lot of, because I'm an air sign, so I'm free flowing. And I was also trying to discover myself because that is the time. When you hit 12 as a young woman, it's up from there. So I was discovering a lot of who I was, what I liked, what I didn't. And then when I got to 19 years old, I let my mother know who I was, and that was it. And college was, okay, well, here you are now. You are a lesbian. And what does that look like for you? What type of woman do you like? And then I broke that down. And then it just turned into, okay, this is me now. Unapologetically, if you don't like it, the door is over there. I was okay with that. Even when it came down to family, because at the end of the day, I am the one that lives my life, no one else. So that was pretty much my journey from 6 on up to now. So.
Okay, yes, thank you. Anybody else? What was your experience? Keep
So mine was a little different because my family didn't force the dressing up only for certain holidays because we weren't big church goers since my mom, Easter. But mom was a single parent. She was a teenage parent, so a lot of times she didn't care. We were outside. That was easiest for my family. So it was always this like nice balance for me. Oh, I'll just put this on because it makes you happy. Like it doesn't make me no different, But when I was probably in my early 20s, when I really just started identifying fully as a lesbian, and I got out of a really nasty relationship. I'll never forget. And I was really feminine, but in that relationship, I leaned more feminine. But in that relationship, the Masc Presenting woman I was with was like, "You're not feminine enough," and that tore me down because I was wearing my kicks, but still like girly. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So one day I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna rock what I really want to rock because at this point I had only really been trying to fit in some box somebody else wanted me to fit in. Like I was dating Masc Presenting women, so they still wanted feminine women. That's what the norm was. So I went out, started buying me some clothes, and I was like, okay, I like this better. Then I dated this woman, and she was like, but you still go around your family dressed like a girl. What's up with that?
Ooh, I can relate.
So she really pushed me to be myself and get away from that. Once I started coming around my family, they would be kind of passive aggressive and like for the holidays still buy me women clothes. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I would hand it to her, like in their face, didn't care, just, oh, you bought me this women's sweater, okay. And I would hand it to the woman I was with at the time, like, we're the same size, you can have this. In front of everybody, so, and just from there, she kept saying like, quit doing that, don't go to work like that. Why are you going to work dressed like a woman? You're not comfortable. That's why you're not succeeding at work. And she was real affirming in me fully doing that shift. And it was right after my daughter was born, so I think that's what made it hard too, so.
I can relate with you with a lot of that. Still trying to figure out who you are, going around your family because they're not accepting of who you're becoming, and you're still dimming your light in a lot of ways. I know for me, I was like, I don't want to wear these tight clothes. I don't want to wear these stockings. They're in the church. They got holes in them. That's why I don't want, because I don't want to wear them. You know, it's uncomfortable. I've always been that tomboy, like comfortable. I just wanted to be who I wanted to be, and I thank you for sharing that, because that's real. And I'm happy you had somebody who helped you shift into more of yourself.
Yeah.
That's definitely beautiful.
Mine, I think I was like elementary, because I hated putting dresses on. I was so thankful. My mom was Baptist, my dad was Church of God in Christ. So everybody over here had to wear dresses. My mom was like, no. I was like, thank you, yes. Yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable. The last time I put on a skirt was for, around my family, was for my granddad's funeral. And I was like, I am never doing this again. I was so uncomfortable standing up there with the rest of the grandkids. I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing it. So I just, and I was like, I don't know why you surprised Mama, because I never liked to wear dresses. Just when we went to church and I took it off right after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was early on for me.
Okay, you knew. All right, anybody else? Cecily, you want to ask?
Yes. I would definitely have to say the same. Very early for me. Just being a country kid, like always wanting to play outside, play basketball, things of that nature, but also being in a very Christian family where it's like you spend 12 hours every Sunday in church.
Oh my God.
A Baptist church where you have to wear a dress. So it's like I started coming up with excuses. I don't want to wear this. My mom even, bless her heart, got a sewing machine, started making my dresses. I'm like, listen, like, it's a no. I don't want it. Like, this is not who I am. So very early on, like 6 or 7, I discovered that I didn't have anything to relate to or any visibility. So it wasn't like, oh, this is how I feel comfortable. So I kind of had to figure that out on my own. But I did know that dresses and things of that nature, like that was just not me.
Yeah, that's real, and that's why representation matters.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important for us to stand in our truths and be ourselves, because you never know who's going to need that. Like, I feel you on that. If I had more of that representation, I probably at that age would have been more comfortable saying, "Oh, okay, that's me," you know. So often, many of us run from the church or religion because of deep traumas associated with the harm many of us have experienced with judgment. For those who went through this, tell us how this was for you. How do you view God or spirituality now as you've been healing deeper and standing for your truth? So what was your experience with religion? And now, where are you now that you're loving and accepting yourself? Let's talk about it. Keith, go ahead. I feel like I'm here. I'm feeling it. I feel like God.
I wouldn't call it like traumatic experience, but I did have an experience with my grandmother. My grandmother and my family is king. So whatever grandmother say, do, you just did it. So, of course, I felt like I modeled exactly who I was. I looked exactly who I wanted to be. So I figured you already knew because I looked this way. So we never really just talked about it. And one day she came to me with her Bible, and it was just me and her, and she's like, I gotta ask you something. And I'm like, all right, you know, and she said, do you, are you a lesbian? And I was just like, I can't do this today. So I said no, of course. And I had to be about 15. And then she made me sign my name and date it. And it didn't deter me from God or anything like that, but the ending of that story is before she got sick, when she was sick, before she passed, it was just me and her again. And I'm 30 at this point. I've lived this life. She's seen me live this life. And I went to her and I'm like, I got something to tell you because I can't let you leave this earth without coming clean about what I signed in that Bible. And I'm like, Granny, I got something to tell you. She's like, no, you don't. You don't have to tell me anything. And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah, you don't have to tell me anything. I know who you are, and you're gonna confuse a lot of people because a lot of people gonna count you out at that gate to get in heaven. So you go ahead and you keep doing what you're doing. So that was like everything that let me know what I needed to do. And yeah, me and God are like this. God is my best friend. Definitely the leader of my life. So yeah, you know, it wasn't too traumatic, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
You got a sign in the Bible, it gets deep.
I mean, for real. The grandmas,
Right.
we go from, we don't even care about the mamas, we be like, I care about you, Granny. Granny all the time, I'm praying for you. I'm like, I'm praying for you too. Let me jump in on that. I come from a very religious family. My mother actually is a minister, and they are just, I mean, when I say holier than thou, I think I done softened them up a little bit, but it's still a work in progress. But it was a struggle. It was a huge struggle being myself. It was a huge struggle just hearing the things that they would say sometimes about what fear God, that you're not going to be blessed. That God doesn't love that, and just how the things they would say about people who were homosexual, and how I'm like, I ain't finna say shit to them because you know, it was bad though, y'all. Like there would be times like in college, you know, Keith and I went to college together. I dressed one way around my teammates, my colleagues, but when I had to go with my family, the holidays, I'm changing clothes on the way because I already knew somebody was gonna say something, and so I'm trying to present as feminine. And I'm like, why am I wearing these tight ass jeans? Kicking my ass, you know. But it was that, always hearing that something bad was going to happen to you, and you wouldn't be successful if you were living that life and just living in fear. I'm thinking, oh, this God in the sky about to shine me down, you know. But through my self-love journey, just being able to explore and redefine who I am, and dig deeper into what God really means to me, because I ain't gonna lie, I shut down. I didn't want to have nothing to do with religion or God for a long time, and as for a matter of fact, I wouldn't even use the word God. And Marsha and I talked about this the other day. I was like, God, no, I'm gonna go self-love. And when people would talk about it, I think I would get triggered sometimes. But now I'm in a space where I can use God freely because I realized there's a God in me. And God is love because of just the energy of God, whether you want to call it God is. We all have different beliefs, but this was my healing for me. Getting out of that, someone telling me what I wouldn't be because of their own limited beliefs, and being able to redefine that. And yeah, God my homie. God know I cousin everything. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, and actually connecting with God in this way, feeling like this God is an energy that's guiding me, this higher source, is elevating me. I mean, I'm blessed beyond measure, you know? So that was my experience. Anybody else?
So for me, it's a little different because we didn't grow up real religious. We were what everyone called C&E Catholics. We just went to church for Christmas and Easter and maybe sprinkle it every once in a while here and there. And my grandma brought us to the church more than probably my own mother did. But then my mom married her last husband when I was in like middle school. So we started going to church almost every Sunday. So it was a complete shift. But my mom was always really accepting to other people that were, didn't matter. Like, I have a cousin who's gay, and she was real upset with how the family treated him. And so I just thought it was gonna be a cakewalk, like coming out. And so I didn't really experience my religion trauma until I came out to my mother. Because I thought she would be open and accepting to my sexuality. I never thought it would be that much of an issue. My youngest sibling came out at the time. Now they're non-binary, but at the time they came out as lesbian. The mom didn't say much about it. They were in middle school, so I came out, and my mom just was like, I knew, and you can't do that, and gay this, gay that, and the church. So the first woman I ever was with, I told my mom I wanted to, not the first woman I was ever with, the first woman I was with after my daughter. I told my mom I wanted to marry that woman. She was like, well, I'm not going to the wedding. She was like, because my religion says so. And all of a sudden she became holier than thou. Like, it was a complete shift in her personality, and it was what I realized now through my healing is that was her mask. She was hiding behind religion because she couldn't understand what I was going through and how I was identifying and becoming into my own person. And we have a lot better relationship now, but for a long time she stood behind the religion. So it really deterred me and gave me like a bad taste, because I was enjoying going to church. Like, it was a new thing that my stepdad had put in our life, and I was enjoying going to church. Not the Catholic Church so much, so I started stepping out and just trying other religions and trying to figure out where I fit in. And it was hard. Like, after that happened, it was really hard. I didn't want to go to church at all, and I went to a Catholic college, and I just didn't want to go. Like, I went to this like weird spiral, but now I realize that a lot of times we tie religion to God, and the religion in the church base, it has nothing to do one with the other. They're just sharing the story, and I can still on my own study faith and have faith and run through my spirituality instead of going to a building where people probably will not understand me.
Yep. There you go. This is exactly how I feel. Ooh, that hit us today.
I feel like I experienced more of my religious trauma at this age than I did younger. And mainly because I was never really small country town. Like, we just love people. Everyone just loves. So even if I dressed this way or that way, it didn't matter. So I didn't experience a lot of that. But the adverse of that is I do think that our parents, our grandmothers, our ancestors, they know who we are going to be before we are that person. So it was also a sense of protection for us. So I do feel like, coming along with God is love, God is in us. So along with that comes betrayal, all the nasty things that we don't want or that we're not expected. But I do feel like our grandparents, our parents, our families, like, they know who we are before we are that person. And I do feel like even them, that's the grace that I give them in not knowing and the way that they protect us, because they don't want us to go out there and get hurt and people betray us and those. So I do think that some of that was a protection mechanism for them as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. Let's pass this over to Cece.
New question or same question?
It's a new one.
Okay, all right, already.
All right, Cece, how do you define work-life balance as a CEO? What are some things you do to incorporate these techniques or strategies within the organization and in your personal life?
I don't look at work-life balance as, okay, I'm going to spend 50% of my time with my wife and my son and my dad and my brothers and my bio family, and 50% of my time at work. I don't see balance. For me, that's not how I define balance. The scales are not even like that, because there's no way. And every day is different, every week is different, every month is different, every year is different. So, but I have had lots of times where I've struggled, and especially, I still can feel this in my body. When I was in law school, I was just constantly feeling out of step with myself. So I'd be at the library at school studying, and I'd be thinking I should be at home with my son because he's 1 year old. Then I'd be at home, I go, oh my God, if I don't read that case for tomorrow's class, the teacher's gonna call on me, and I'm not gonna, I was just never satisfied with myself. And that can be a tape that I'm running, that a lot of that wasn't necessarily true, it's just how I felt about things. I was always feeling like I needed to be doing something else. But, so in a healthier, what I will say is that I feel like is a healthier place now, I just try to be present when I show up, wherever that is. And so thank you, Coach Dee, for doing the breathing exercise. That's such an effective thing. I do that in my office a lot. I have a lot of days where I feel like, oh man, I'm about ready to go into this situation, and I do not feeling fully prepared. I did not have enough time, the time I wanted to prepare for this. So I'll breathe, because I don't know how much y'all, if you've talked at all about what that is, that it's not just categorized as meditation. There is a physiological response that our bodies have, and it slows down our parasympathetic nerve system, and we make better decisions, and we're present, and we're more alive, and we have oxygen in our bodies that will help us out. So it's super effective. So I just try to be present in the situations where I'm in and really hear what people are saying. And also when I'm in something that feels like conflict or feels like I'll take on other people's energy, which can be a really great thing to be empathetic, but can also be really exhausting. And so I've tried to get more skillful over the years of understanding where somebody's stuff is their stuff. And I give it grace and try to listen, but I don't have to make it be my stuff. Like, I don't know, I went to Erykah Badu's birthday party in February, and she's like, what, your business? You take care of your business, and I'll take care of my business. So some of that.
I love that. You have fun at the concert?
Oh, had a blast.
Let me find out, Cece.
Danced all night. So good.
I love it. Thank you for that. That's real though. Like, I appreciate you sharing that additional insight on breath work, because it does have a deeper effect, especially when it comes to our bodies, our nervous system, and everything. It matters. And that's one of my teachings in my program. It's like, we're not just sitting there talking about self-love, and I'm having you, we're really going into the body and really trying to understand these traumas or these energies that we've been carrying in our bodies. Because the body don't forget, we may be aging chronologically, but developmentally, a lot of us are still stuck in that trauma. And it's so important when you're healing to go in that, to really deal with that. And the great way to that portal is to have some mindfulness practice. So thank you for sharing that. All right, well, let's move this thing along. How do you get that mic to Athena? So let me shout out to the Key Group. Were y'all here? Any of y'all in the building? Okay, let's go. So, how do you explore your sexuality? Are you comfortable with both your masculine and feminine energies, or is this currently a challenge? Especially with you being a leader and have cultivated this community of BSDM. Like, what is that for you?
So the balance that I get with that is when I get home and I'm with my woman, I can release all of that. I step through the door of our home and I am every other part of me. I'm a Gemini, okay? So there's about 12 of us here.
I'm gonna say about you, y'all.
Yeah. So I have like 3 names. My original name, Milan. Then it's Boa, body of Athena. And then it's just Athena. So Athena is present when I am in my group and I am having to regulate things and manage and when we have the events, right? Providing that protection for people, because the nature of the group, people must feel safe. So there are certain rules that we have in place in order to keep it that way. However, when I'm with my woman, I'm able to be Milan. I'm able to just be me and relax. And again, like I said, chocolate and anime. Like, it's very simple for me. So it's really a beautiful thing. I'm able to be me with her. She's able to be her with me. We are both very dominant, and yet we balance each other at the same time. So I don't want to go too far.
Y'all check out, they have a booth in the back.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some demonstrations if you want to go back there.
Yeah.
And learn more about things, just things. But it's pretty cool.
Yes. So I won't go too much into detail with that, but yeah, it's been honestly a beautiful journey. I started Boas Playpen a year ago with the erotic experiences, the events that we do now at the Diamond Suite, and then started the group October 30th, and we are at about 800 members now.
800 plus, yeah. Yes. I joined it a few months ago, and I've been having a blast. I didn't know this about myself. Where you been? What happened? What's going on?
Disappeared from the earth, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's interesting because it's been a huge part of like just my growth. Like I spent 2023 doing a lot of digging deep within myself, understanding that I present masculine, but I am very feminine, and I need to tap into that. And also to go deeper with that, the masculine part of us, it's the part that put into action, put into work.
Right.
But when we talk about manifestations and things we want to create, we got to get in that feminine. You got to be able to receive. Now, Athena, you receive in a lot of ways, right? But we have to be able to receive what we're trying to manifest. If you always working and ain't really taking the time out to soften yourself, you're not really gonna manifest a lot.
It was hard for a while, just receiving anything.
Oh yeah, I know.
Me too. Because it was a lot of heteronormative views. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, right? And in the meantime, I was forgetting about what I wanted, what I needed, right, as a woman.
Yeah.
And so it took a long time to develop that. But now it's like, I need this, I need that. I can give this, trust me. But there are things that I need.
Yeah.
Simply put, and I'm not going to neglect that anymore.
Okay.
Like
that pent up energy.
No.
No, but it's real though. It's real, and I want y'all can tap in too. We've talked about this. We've been having some behind the scenes talk about this, and the thing about it is, a lot of us we're masculine presented, and like you said, we're expected to present and be a certain way. First of all, we're not men. We are women. And when you tap into self-love and you start to embody those parts of you, you realize, like, no, I can be desired too. I ain't no chase and give you. Like, I want to be dated too.
I struggle with it all the time. Like, in my house, I'm the handy woman, I'm the mechanic, I'm the coach, I'm the everything. So it's hard for me to receive. I mean, even just to receive kudos sometimes, it's just hard for me to just accept it. So I'm still, opening up to that, to understand, okay, I have to advocate for what I need, but I just really wanted to share. I hate taking out the trash. And, sometimes,
Keep it real.
I had to.
I don't want to take out that goddamn trash.
People just assume that, I want to be the one to be fixed. So I'm so grateful for my son because he takes out the trash and I do not have to do that.
You gotta go get the oil change.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I plan on passing a lot to him very soon.
That's real. So I don't want to take that goddamn trash out. Anybody else want to tap into that?
I'm just gonna pop in real quick.
Go ahead.
Because there may be somebody who's experienced this. I think I'm raising the average age on the panel, so I was in a relationship at one point where we were not connecting with one another for a long time. And so at some point we stopped having sex. And I will never do that again. Never.
Okay.
Thank you, Athena, for saying that.
Y'all, when Cece said there was about you, I was like, okay, Cece could
I guess I had to learn the hard way. Like, no, we need stuff. There are things that we need, and we should get them, and we should have them. The minute I became single, I figured that out, and I got what I needed. Whew, that was a fun year. But, I mean, it's still fun. My wife's not in the room. It's still fun. It's still fun, baby. It's still fun, I promise.
Keep it real, Cece.
But that year was fun. A lot of pent-up energy. No, but I'm just saying.
You're keeping it real.
The thing was, I had convinced myself, that's okay, I don't need that.
Man.
And that was the problem, because that was a lie to myself for a long time, and that just leads you to lie about, it's just not good, you get off balance. That's all.
No, that's real though, Cece. That's real. Cece's like, hold on. I need to release. I got something to say about this. All right, okay. Let me dive into. We got a few minutes. Okay. What's been your experience in connecting with other Masc Presenting Queer Women or studs? Ooh.
I'll go ahead and go, because y'all look a little depressed when y'all heard that. So I'm gonna start off light, because my situation ain't bad. I have 3 best friends in my life since high school. And of course, outside of that, there have been some challenges. But in dealing and speaking with other Masc Presenting women and hearing the stories of the connections that have not been made, or they weren't able to because of whatever the circumstance, right? I was like, wow. I had to sit back. I was like, dang, I'm thankful, I'm like, wow. Like, I have 3 masculine presenting friends, best friends in my life since 2007. They're still my friends to this day. 1 high school, 2 college. And at first, I just thought it was normal. And then I got out in the world, and I was like, oh no, it's not. Because, there's some underlying competition, and there's just so much going on, right? Like, you look a certain way, then they think, oh, okay, like, they'll look at you, side-eye you, just because of when you walk in the room. You're full of energy, right? Your energy is intimidating.
Well, you missed to steal your girl, so.
Wait a minute. I have not had the worst experience. I've had some amazing connections, even everyone here. Like, I'm just happy to be here and happy to see something like this, because this just has not happened. But in my personal friend group, this is normal. Like, this is normal for us. But I know, like, for other people, it's not. So I'm hoping more in the future that we have events like this, so that other people can understand, like, look, you don't have to peacock, you don't have to buff up, you don't have to, flex. It's not needed. Be you and be authentically you. And someone is going to gravitate towards that energy. And so that's my take. Now, okay, everybody, let's talk about your stories. If it was bad, I'm sorry. I'm your friend now. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's why I created this space too, because we're here and we've been vibing, we've been connecting. Like, I love to bring people together, and that whole competition thing and us, it's ego, it's trauma, and it's just it's not good, you know, but us coming together, having these healing conversations, showing something different, it shows that, hey, we cool. We can be cool. We can grow together. We ain't gotta be, what you flexing on me for? You know, because that ain't what you want. But I don't want to do that. I want to be your friend. You know, I want to soften you up. Why you flexing on me? You know, but I think again it comes down to what a lot of us have been through. We have hardened ourselves, and so we're just resistant to it. But when we open ourselves up, even to love, to anything, then we can receive some beautiful energy, y'all. Like, love is beautiful. When y'all say that?
Absolutely.
Yes. You gonna say something more?
Just real quick, I think that a lot of us that are walking around in our trauma, still insecure, that's where that comes from.
Right.
Because if I'm just trying to be nice to you, I ain't looking at your girl. She's not going home with me. But, you know, it just, I think a lot of it's trauma that nobody's worked on yet.
That part. Okay. Let me ask y'all this. What are you learning about yourself when it comes to love and relationships? How do you create safety within a relationship now that you're working on yourself? What does that look like?
Boundaries.
Ooh.
Yes.
I had none. I've been in a lot of relationships and I was looking for love the whole time. And the fact that I've been working on myself this long and I found my love for me.
Ooh, speak that.
Yeah, I didn't have that. So I just took what they gave, you know. I let them treat me any kind of way. And now it's like,
Mark's like, you better come with it.
All right.
Yeah. Anybody else? Y'all speak on it.
So for me, what I've found out about myself and what I used to do in the past was I would look for someone to fix. Something deep-seated emotional issue that they were going through, and I would attach to that trauma and try to fix them. And in those times, I was just like, well, if I showed you how love is supposed to look like by loving you and giving you that, you should naturally just be able to mirror that, especially when they're like, I just don't know, I've never had love. And so I would use it a lot of times as an excuse to receive self-part, attention, or kind of put my own wants and needs to the side for a really long time. Now, through my healing journey, I stepped out of my marriage, which was like stepped away from my marriage and filing for a divorce, which was not something that I thought this path was gonna lead me to. But it made me realize that's what I've been doing this whole time. And now that I've really just feed into myself, I've established boundaries, and I can tell someone when I need or want something. Sometimes I'm kind of like still not on the receiving end, like, no, why you want to pay for my lunch? But you know, I'm still learning to be okay with the receiving of things, but just being open and being like, you know, no, I don't like it when this happens, and putting my needs and wants out there and staying true to what's best for me and staying, not overexerting myself, because I would do that too and not get enough rest. So that's.
Ooh. Well, we're gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna let Cece take the floor. What advice would you give to your younger self who struggled with their identity and authenticity? What advice would you give to your younger self?
I had a different type of answer. I think now that I've found so much peace in my story, I probably wouldn't tell myself anything different, because if I had a different perspective, I might not be sitting right here today. But I would tell any young woman that was in my shoes as a young kid, I would definitely tell them to just hold on. It might get lonely, it may get hard, but just hold on. You'll make it through. Just stay in the race and don't give up.
Anybody Yeah, stay in the race.
Mine is simple. It would just be believe in yourself. Like, don't wait for anybody else to believe in you. Believe in you first. And support yourself 100% because nobody's living a life but you. You're living this life. You're in this body. So support yourself and believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Anybody else? Marsha, what would you tell yourself? Boundaries.
That I was stronger than I thought.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's good.
Short story. I lost my mom 2021 in March. In April, I got diagnosed with cancer, and she died from cancer. And I never thought I would go through anything like that. So it took a lot of prayer and love from people who I had behind me, people that didn't even know me, loved me. And I could have lost my mind, but I'm still here.
You still here. And y'all,
Still standing.
Marsha got a birthday tomorrow. Real quick, DJ, since this Marsha's birthday, let's do before I did the last question, let's do a little birthday beat. Can we do a birthday vibe for Marsha? Can we sing happy birthday to Marsha, y'all? I mean, she's still standing. What she went through, she don't look like what she went through, but she was here. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marsha. Happy birthday to you. DJ, don't treat me like that. Don't do me like that. That was good, though. Well, y'all, this concludes right now. Healing Conversation. Coach Dee presents Healing Conversations with Masc Presenting Queer Women. We're going to keep this thing going. I truly believe this is going to be a global sensation. I've been speaking and I've been seeing it before I see it. Ooh, did you get that? I've been seeing it before I see it. That is how I'm so big on visualizing and manifestation. I want to give a huge thanks to, and we'll do our thanks, I'm sorry. Cece, thank you, and Resource Center, Sam has been amazing. We'll get to that, but thank you, Sam, for sitting at my table. But I appreciate y'all coming out. We're gonna continue this vibe. I think it's needed. It's definitely needed. Y'all check out the vendors and everything. Shout out to my stylist. My stylist with me, right? Shout out to my stylist. She keep me fresh. She keep me fresh. You follow me on Instagram, social media, you will see, because I do a lot of modeling, but she keeps me right. I wanted to plug that, especially for any of y'all Masc Presenting that are looking for someone to help y'all. She definitely can do that. So, yeah.
Thank you, Coach Dee, for bringing this idea, vision, opportunity to Resource Center, and thank you, Samuel, for helping create its manifestation here in this space. And you're very gracious to thank me for having it at Resource Center, but I am just a representative. This is your community center, and if you're in this space for the first time, I welcome you to come anytime. There's a lot of activities that go on here, and a lot of the programs of Resource Center happen here. And we have other facilities, so some things happen in other spaces too. We can answer questions about that later if necessary. But thank you for everybody who showed up, and again, Coach Dee. And Coach Dee helped out on a project that I'm going to talk about now, Oaklawn Place, which is a housing development that Resource Center is doing. And it's 84 units of housing. If I could throw a rock 1/2 mile exactly that direction, that's where it is. So it's on the other side of that giant elementary school, and it's under construction right now. And it's all of the units are deemed affordable, which means the rent ranges from $500 a month to $1,200 a month, approximately. Those rents can change sometimes because it's sort of governed by some rates that get released by the state of Texas. But we wanted to do the housing because it's also for seniors, age 55 and above. The housing is so important in our queer community because for a lot of different reasons, social and legal, we haven't been able to accumulate the same amount of assets that others have. You know, our marriages weren't recognized until 2015, and so let's say if somebody was in a relationship for a long time and their partner died, they couldn't get their Social Security benefits because the government didn't recognize our marriages. We statistically don't have as many kids, so we don't have that safety net of people taking care of us. It's just a lot of things that make the need for housing for seniors in our queer community even more acute than in some other communities. And of course, we lead intersectional lives, so there's a lot of things that need us to be, that put us in a place where we may or may not be able to achieve the very expensive housing rates that are in Dallas. So Resource Center serves all the queer community, and as part of our mission, we decided to do this affordable housing. And there's about 10 or 12 other developments across the United States that other large queer community centers have done. So we had the benefit of seeing them, learning from them, having them being very generous and giving us tips and tricks about what to do and what not to do. But Oaklawn Place, as it says on the flyer, there's an address where you or someone in your life, what I'd love to ask from you if I could, is that if there is somebody in your life who's age 55 and above or queer, and they would be interested in this type of community that is affirming for queer older individuals, that you share this information with them, or if that's you. And they can get on an interest list, and then the property manager who's going to be managing the property will contact them and get them in the queue to enroll. A person does have to enroll, just like any apartment you go live at, you got to fill out the application. That's what I mean by enroll. People have to apply. But that's what we're doing, and it's almost finished with construction. It's a 5-story building. It's really pretty. It's on a beautiful lot. It's not a moneymaker for Resource Center. It's not how it works. It's funded in other ways, but we wanted to bring it to the community. And people will be able to start moving in July, which is really just around the corner.
Yes. I want that house. I'm excited. Let's open the floor up. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you all ever so much for sharing your hearts and your stories and all that kind of good stuff. I am curious to know, for a lot of us that were, or maybe y'all born and raised in the church and all that kind of good stuff, right? You know, we're taught to pray and give it to God and all that kind of good stuff, but I'm curious to know, have any of you ever gone to therapy to uncover some more of that deeper stuff? And I know, just like with your journey, you know, healing and self-love and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm asking to kind of from personal experience, after having some life changes and things of that nature, I decided to take a deep dive into myself at the end of 2020. I said, girl, you need some therapy because shit's just going on all over the place. And I needed to get it together. So I'm just curious. Have any of y'all ever gone to therapy? And if not, it's life-changing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. That's actually a good question. It was actually one of my questions, but we were just pressed for time, so I was bouncing around. But definitely. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, I love therapy. Therapy is my bestie. Yeah, for sure. I started out by just in a really, really lost space right after my grandmother passed away. I went to my sister's therapist, and she saw me one time, and she referred me to a life enrichment boot camp. It was a 3-day boot camp, so just imagine like 6 months of work done in 3 days. It was super powerful. I did that, and then after I did that, I was just on this journey of let's keep going, let's forgive, let's heal, let's keep finding out more about me. So yeah, I had a lot. I've had about 3 or 4 different therapists and a life coach since, and I'm ongoing. I share anybody, my whole family. Let's all go to therapy. Right.
I'm in therapy. I go to every other week. I have to. I love my therapist. It's important, no matter where you are. I think it's just even to have the maintenance. I think a lot of us feel like we go for a little bit and we're good, or a lot of us don't even go at all. So that was actually a great question to ask. But therapy is really helping me. And in addition to therapy, just keeping myself active and healthy. working out. My pops, my god pops is in the building right now. Ooh, we got a story. If you have not gotten my book, please get my book. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but just keeping myself active and taking care of my mental, physical, spiritual, financial, all of that. You know, we got girlfriends budget in the house. Like it all matters. Like it all matters to take care of yourself all around. Like if you're not taking care of that mental health though, like it's a wrap. And you keep running into those same trauma stories, blaming everybody else when you're not even looking at you. So.
And it also has an effect on the company that's around.
It
Are
does.
we ready for
It
the
does.
next question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just gonna mention, it started for me with just taking care of myself, just wanting to take care of myself, and then it transitioned into stumbling across Coach Dee here. Yeah, on Instagram, IG, shout out to IG. And yeah, so it was one of those things, like life coach was coming up, you know, the previous years, it just kept popping up. And then I had transitioned into a new job, and they were offering life coaching through the package. And I was like, you know what, let me look for my own life coach, because I don't think they're going to offer me anything that resonates with me. Yeah, I ain't going to have nobody that look like me and talk like me. So I was like, let me go look for my own life coach. And I found you on Instagram. It was like you were one of the first searches that popped up. It was just very aligned. And so obviously I called her up. I was nervous about it. And I called her up and I was just like, this feels right. This is good. This is good for me. And it's still good for me, and I'm very grateful to be connected with all of you. And then I started therapy after that. Well, I was in therapy beforehand, but it was kind of like choppy. And now at this point, I'm in transition because I'm looking for a therapist that's more focused on grief. And and I had to. You have to be patient with yourself through the changes because. You might not find the right therapist right away, and that's okay. And it's okay to let go and search for better that fits more where you are in your life. So I have to remember that for myself, to be patient through my transitions.
That part. I love that. Any more questions?
Yes, we have someone right here, and I see a few more. And I would like to just add in, great job mentioning exercise and diet. Exercise, just 30 minutes a day, has been proven to be just as effective as an antidepressant. Exercise has been proven to help with symptoms of ADHD and even bipolar disorder. So if you can't get a therapist, if you can't get a hold to a pill, go outside and walk for 30 minutes.
That part.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying not to cry.
We got some tissue up here if you need it.
Today is my 30th birthday.
They like run that back.
This is what we do. This is a safe space. We are safe. DJ, pump it up right now.
Self-love sometimes, you know, and I have battled through self-harm and suicide ideations and attempts throughout my life, and I just wanted to know, like, what, when you hit rock bottom, like, what have kept you going? Not living because of other people, like living for yourself. Like, give me some advice about that. Yeah, that's all I want.
That's a good one.
Can I give you a hug? I want to say, first of all, thank you for your transparency and vulnerability, because it's not easy to stand in a room and stand up and express where you are in that moment to other people. So I'm happy that you feel safe. I want to acknowledge that. And then I want to say, I get it. I understand exactly what you feel and what you were going through. I've been through it, and it's not easy. But I do know that it takes you, for me, and this is something I teach, the concept of self-love, is really getting deep and personal and intimate with that inner child, that wounded inner child that needed something, that didn't have a safe environment, that didn't have support, that doesn't know what love is because it wasn't shown. Get real with them. Go to the mirror, start talking to yourself. Find out, of course, get in therapy, find somebody you can line with. You can come talk to me. I'm plugging. I got books over here, but I'd love to talk to you. But it's really getting deep with yourself. Those shadow parts of us that we try to hide and we don't deal with. Our traumas, a lot of us don't deal with it. And then it creates these feelings of insecurities, and we want to harm ourselves because we're trying to get that trauma out of our body. It's like we're trying to get out of that. But the only way to get out of that is to get into that. Did y'all hear me?
Yes.
The only way out is in. And so I would love to talk to you after this, but if you go within that inner child, start giving that baby some love, start reaffirming them, protecting them, giving them the safety. You become the safe space that you needed. And I guarantee everything will start to shift for you. We'll talk. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Anybody else want to add something to that?
I had my rock bottom last year, so it's very recent for me, and so I feel that and I understand that where you are. And the other important thing to remember is if you have people around you that love you and support you, like, you can do anything, like, you're not alone. Even now, right here, you're not alone. This room full of people. You're surrounded by love. And that's also what kept me going, is knowing that I was not alone. I felt that way sometimes because it's like, dang, I'm in this position. And, you look at social media and it's one of the biggest fronts, right? Like everybody's not going through anything. Meanwhile, everybody's going through everything,
Girl.
So, it's okay. I had to remember, it's okay. I'm human, I've lived 34 years now. God willing, I'll live way more. It's gonna be mistakes, it's gonna be ups and downs, right? But that's not gonna stop me from moving forward. I'm gonna keep stepping, even if it's one step a day. So take your time, give yourself grace. Grace is important.
Yes.
And anybody that doesn't want to give you grace doesn't need to be in your life.
Woo, let's go.
Period. So I'm glad that you're here with us. And again, you're not alone. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah, let's go. I know that made your birthday a lot better. Any more questions?
All right. First of all, I want to let y'all know that I have been to church today. I haven't been to church in a long time, but I've been to church today. Ooh. Because sometimes it's just fulfilling, and the love, the energy in the room is so good. And I'm just enjoying myself. Y'all gave me a lot to talk about on blogs and stuff like that. Not only that, y'all now have let me really understand my blood sister, because she's trapped in the, I don't know if this, I don't know if that. And now just by listening to your stories, I have something to send her to. It's a way to send her, to find out that, like I always told her, nothing's wrong with you. We just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But my question to you all is, just by being 41, being out in the gay scene, influential and all this kind of stuff, I've seen a divide when it comes to gay men and lesbian. And, we always had a divide. You go to the gay night, but then you go to the girl night, then you go to and the relationship between gay men and masculine presenting women, whether they're still feminine or whatever, how has y'all relationships been with gay men not like intimate, but just relationships, period, with gay men, whether positive or negative, and with just men in your life, period. And if it was negative, how did y'all overcome those stereotypes or how they treated you?
Ooh, that's good. First of all, men love me. Let me just say that one more time. Men love me. First of all, I have a lot of boys in my family and boys I've raised. So whether gay or not, like, I'm able to navigate men in a certain way. And I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I can use my masculinity or femininity to get what I want with them as well. But it's just me just connecting. I find that when you find a portal to connect with people, it helps people feel safe, you know? And gay men, I love them. Ooh, I just love me and Sam. Baby, you see? Me and Sam have been having a blast. We've been working hard, but I just love the energy when there's synergy there. I haven't really had a lot of negative experiences with them, besides them saying, "Ooh, child, I'm questioning him," and I'm like, "Don't question because I ain't questioning. Say you are." And even though being in a situation trying to heal the abandonment wounds of growing up without my father and then having a father figure come into my life, my pops, like, he really showed me too that even not having my physical father at that time growing up, having him, men can be safe, you know, because a lot of us have been through a lot of different things, but you know, he taught me something totally different about men and how to be treated. So ain't nobody finna treat me any kind of way, especially not no man, you know. But no, it's just, I think men too, they have that feminine factor to them too. It's just that a lot of times you gotta tap into it, and when you do, you're able to connect with them as well. But everybody have their different experiences. What's been y'all's experience?
So for me, with men, I always was real standoffish. And that's funny because I used to date men for a really long time. And it was more because my sibling's father used to molest me when I was younger. And that was supposed to be my dad. You know, like, my mom forced me to call him dad and everything, even though I had a man who was my biological father, who I was actually really close to, until he just disappeared when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And so after that, my cousin molested me. And so navigating the world with men was really hard because a part of me felt like, oh, I just want to be seen, and I was like being provocative, but then a part of me was like, no, I want to feel safe. So when I went to college, it was almost like 2 people. I had this one guy who was real sweet on me, and then on the other hand, I had a bunch of just attention, and I was kind of like balancing both. But I didn't want that other part. Like, I just wanted to be able to be respected. So that was really hard for a really long time. I didn't even put myself in rooms where I would be alone with men. I wouldn't even take a shower in someone's house if there was a man there. Even when I got with my soon-to-be ex-wife, she has a son who is 18 at the time, and it took me a really long time to get comfortable just to shower in the house with him there. Now I'm really healed through all of that, and now it's a completely different aspect for me. With gay men, a lot of it was, for a long time, we didn't get along too well. And I don't even know what it was about, you know? Like, it was just something, when I was in the room, they would always throw attitude and shade and just be really nasty. And I'm like, what is going on? So I have one friend of mine, he wasn't out yet. He was really young, we worked together. And he came out to me and we went out for my birthday one year. And one of his homeboys did the same thing, like throwing a lot of shade, being really nasty. And I was like, what is going on? So I pulled him to the side and I asked him, I'm like, what's going on? Like, you know, and he had a conversation with his homeboy. Well, come to find out, it was an insecurity within himself because I was making him question his sexuality. By the way I look, because I'm Masc Presenting, I was looking good to him, but I don't have the parts that he wanted, and it was confusing to him. And you know, when my homeboy asked him about it, and then we had a conversation about it, I was just like, okay, I get it, but you still can't treat me that way. Like, that's the issue you gotta figure out. We ended up being really close for that period in our life after it was water under the bridge. So then that made me wonder, like, was that the tension for a really long time that I was getting, you know? But now I have a really good friend of mine. He's a drag queen, and he does online drag shows. So it's just been funny to see the shift, like, throughout the relationship with men and gay men as I heal, and growing those bonds in different ways. I work in a predominantly male industry. All the people I deal with, my internal, I work for the airline. So my customers are internal. I deal with the dispatchers, but they're all men. And at first it was a little standoffish for me, like, there's a lot of men in here, you know? But now the men love me. Like, they can't get enough of me. They're always looking for me, hugging me and stuff. And it's good to, you know, it's good to see the healed version of myself in these spaces.
It is. I love it. Wow.
I would just say, for me personally, it was finding safety within myself first. It was creating an environment of safety for myself, physically and and inside. So whatever that looked like and whatever that needed to be at the time. So definitely creating a safe space within yourself so that that connection can happen organically.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Safety within self. You gotta have that first.
I would just piggyback off of her, I would say, our partner. Truth and honesty. Truth and honesty. Yeah.
You gonna get it when you get home.
I know. I have the pleasure of being with someone that knows my entire life story. We grew up together, so she knows everything. But I think even now, as we continue to grow and heal and become whoever we're, going to become in our future, just being honest and open, and that just allows us to always flow. As long as she's honest, I'm honest. We can just open up and be whoever we want to be, and even if that changes tomorrow, we can do that too. As long as you're honest, I think that's safe for us.
I like that. That's good. Yeah. I feel the same way. I do. I agree with both of y'all. Like, if you got the people in the connection that's being honest and you finding safety in yourself, that helps, because it's not our responsibility to cater to other people's emotions. And that's definitely something I've been learning in therapy and just within my own journey in relationship, is that you really have to find out what your own needs are. And a lot of us have been in situations where we people please, where we put other people's needs before ours, and we expect for people to know what we're feeling and thinking. But when we're not opening up about what we truly are feeling, without all the extra, it causes a lot of chaos in the connection, and it really takes that deep dive to say, what is it that's going on with me? And how can I then find a way to express this, And then there has to be willingness on the other end to receive it, and then to talk about your own feelings too. So it really just comes down to that, finding a way to understand what you're feeling, and then express that without it being a situation where you're angry at someone, you're yelling and screaming at them, you're blaming them. That's not gonna create safety. What's gonna create safety is you just being straight up honest. Hey, I'm feeling like this. I'm learning this about myself. This is what I need. I need you to just listen. So the root of it is figuring out who you are, and then cultivating that with someone that you think is going to be aligned to grow with you. So I hope that answers your question.
What I really felt, that person would be gone. And I had to get to the point where I said, you know what? if they leave, they leave. And that's okay. You know, life will go on. My life will go on. And so it got to the point where I started understanding and vocalizing more, right? Being more comfortable with speaking what I felt in that moment. Having boundaries, right? But also standing on them, holding to them. Because no one's gonna respect your boundaries if you don't respect them yourself. So it took a while to get into that with myself, and that just kind of being able to open up and speak and be truthful with me and my partner, it allowed them the same. You know, it created a safe space for us both. You know, because it's not always going to be roses and, you know, unicorns. It's not always going to be pretty, but you don't want that either. You want raw. You want somebody that you can be 100% yourself with, and that accepts you for you. But they can't accept you for you if you are putting up a wall, if you are putting up a mask. So, so that's what it took a while for me to get there, but I'm here.
Yes, yes. That was good. That was good.
Coach Dee, after your question and your question, we'll have one more after that.
Hi, panel.
Hello.
I just want to give you all your love and props because this has been amazing. I really have been enjoying it. My question is, I'm hearing a lot of self-love, I'm hearing a lot of love, healing and all of that, but with that sometimes comes imposter syndrome, right? When we continue to level up, when we continue to allow ourselves to authentically show up as ourselves, how do you deal with, if you do, the duality of not only imposter syndrome, but also being masc presenting in a world that may not necessarily accept your lifestyle?
Good question. Who want to answer that? Speak up. How do you deal with it? She laid a thick one.
I'm just gonna say something just real practical. I write personally, like I pour out, because sometimes I don't know exactly how to get over it, and that's okay. Like we're not gonna know the answers every time. So I just write and pour out and let myself tell me the answer, sort of, and it does come out. It will eventually come out if you're expressive with it and you're honest about it. So
Facts. I think as we were talking about self-love, Sandy, a huge part of that is continuing to redefine who you are and affirm yourself differently. Because, you know, it will come up. I had a fear of success. I ain't gonna lie, you know, because I'd never seen it to the level that I was feeling like I was gonna be a masochist. And so it's like, man, who are you? You know, who are you? I don't know you. You know, and now everybody's like starting to know my name and know things about me, and because I've just decided, you know what, I'm healing. I have a story to share. It's just things I want to share with other people. People need it. And I think just reaffirming myself, like I was telling the beautiful soul back there for her inner child, that she is the shit, that we can do anything, that I am enough. That is my daily thing. I ruminate that. I am enough. Because I think when you realize that you are enough, you are enough. You know? And it helps you get over it, feeling like you have to be a certain way with anybody else, or you have to pretend. So just be where you are, grow from where you are. And that's literally all I do. And it's helped me a lot. Did I tap that off for y'all? Okay.
Thank you for admitting to even struggling with imposter syndrome yourself, Coach Dee, because looking at you, I think you're so cool. So for even you to feel that way, I think it's powerful for you to admit that in front of an audience. Help us manage our own expectations for ourselves too.
Oh, I'll tell you real.
And we were gonna clap for you.
I told myself that I was going to pretend that I didn't even know who you were. And I just wanted to see you work. And while I'm sitting here and I'm watching the smallest person in the group command this entire audience, but what y'all don't realize, she's been that way all her life. She's always been the smallest person, but she's always been the most resilient. She's always been the toughest. This young lady here, when she played sports with the boys, she hated to lose. She would get mad at the boys. Y'all could have done better. We could have won. They should have caught that dang ball. She's been that way all her life.
Don't tell my anger.
But see, what has happened is that was her aggression and her passion. And that's what you guys see right here. All she did was transfer it over from sports to life coaching. And I just want to say to you, baby girl, you have helped me when I needed someone, just like you thought I needed you. Well, I'll say that back, just like you thought you needed me, I needed you. And I still have that letter you wrote me.
Did I need the tissue?
She wrote me a letter, and I'm not going to be long. She wrote me a letter. I used to be her elementary school teacher. I met her in 3rd grade. And I saw something in her at that point. I was like, wow, she's amazing. Already, she has no idea. And we became really close. And when she left elementary, went to middle school, I didn't see her for about 2 or 3 years. And she came to the school one day. And it's like we never left each other. And after she saw me, she wrote me a letter. She said, you've always been a father figure in my life. And I lost my father when I was very young. I wanted to know if you would mind being a father figure in my life. And do you know Satan has a way of trying to interrupt those things? And he will do it with people who are closest to you. Even my family members told me not to do it. But I listened to God. He said, yeah, you do that. Because whether you believe it or not, you need her just as much as she needs you. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, I'm so proud of you, baby girl.
Y'all be all crying out here like this. Y'all want to, y'all?
Oh, by the way, we got to work out.
I know. It's time, next week. Okay.
I'm such a crybaby. I wasn't expecting to cry so much. Hi panel, y'all look amazing. I'm getting some fashion tips. So when I started going to therapy, it wasn't this amazing, oh, I feel so much better about myself experience. It was a huge struggle to realize that I wasn't an angry child. I wasn't an angry teenager. I was put in situations where someone who was supposed to protect me wasn't there. And my therapist told me one time, he said, you're looking at this person as a father figure, right? Someone who's supposed to protect you, someone who's supposed to be there, but you need to look at this person as a man with his own demons. And something that Oprah Winfrey says is she has a lot of aha moments, right? Where she's like, oh, like a little light bulb. So I wanted to ask you guys, as adults, what is your aha moment that you've experienced? Whether it's someone telling you something or something in therapy where you're like, oh, wait a minute.
So my aha moment, my daughter. And it is was so pivotal in my life in the last 2 years and the change that I have made. She had been acting out, but not with me. She was acting out with my mother-in-law and my wife. They came to me and told me this, and I was like, what's going on? What do you mean my daughter's acting out? Like, you know, typical kid stuff, but normally I didn't have the same issues with her that they were telling me that they had with her. So I went to my daughter and I was just like, hey, what's going on? Like, this is what I'm hearing about you. And she's only 12. So this was about 2 years ago. So she was 9, about to be 10. No, it's a little over 2 years ago because I've been with Coach for 2 years. So she was about 9. And she was like, what do you mean, Mom? And I was like, well, this isn't your behavior. You normally don't act this way. Why have you been acting this way with these 2 people? She was like, well, I don't know. And I said, no, that's not a good answer. Like, I'm not gonna make you tell me now, but sit on that and come to me and tell me what's going on so we can fix it. And she comes to me one day and she's like, hey, I know what's wrong. And I was like, okay, come here. She sat in my lap. I mean, still bigger than me, but sitting in my lap, right? And she was like, I was like, so what's going on? And she was like, you're the only person I can be myself around. And mind you, I lived with my wife, my mother-in-law, her son, and her daughter, and me. And I was working 2 jobs to put my wife through nursing school. So it was really heartbreaking to hear that, because she said something that I felt ever since I was a child. And I didn't want my kids to ever feel that way. So she triggered that light bulb. Like, okay, wait a second. Obviously, I thought I was doing something different, and I'm not. So what is the different path I need to take? And ever since then, I just move with it. If my daughter says something to me, now I listen. For a long time, I just like, oh, she's being bad. Because I let everyone program that into my mind. But in the last 2.5, 3 years, I can say she works at my last nerve and she's a pain in my butt. But I have to listen to her. I have to, because every time she says something, she reels me back in and gives me all those moments. And ever since I've actually heard this kid through, my life has changed drastically.
Let's go. Well, I just want to thank y'all for being here, for answering the call, for being a part of this, all my meetings and all my things we do. Y'all know me. It's been smooth sailing, you know, and just to know that y'all have just been like so open to do this, like I appreciate it, you know, and everybody who came out today, like, thank y'all. Like, really, I really do appreciate it. You didn't have to, but you did. You're here. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everything. I would just continue to say, we're going to continue to have these conversations, but I mean, if I don't say anything else today, I would say take the reflection of really looking deep within yourself. Love yourself. Choose you. 2024, yeah, it's taking off, it's moving, but it's still a great year to manifest your best life and your best self. Like, put yourself on the top of your to-do list. Be your first priority. And I think when you do that, you'll know how to pour into other people, but you first gotta learn how to pour into yourself, boo.
Anybody else?
Yep, I'm just gonna piggyback off of what you said, and even to the young lady in the back, happy birthday, and thank you for sharing that with us, because we needed that. Yeah. You needed this, and it's a thing where it's like sometimes you have to move yourself into other situations, into other communities, because we're one community, you may be a problem, but in another community, you will be the solution. And I will say that for personal experience, just being a leader of Masc Presenting Women, like, we're still women at the end of the day. So it's not a walk in the park. So I had to realize that these are not my friends. I'm just the leader of this organization, right? And things that are problematic here, God will always send you someone where you're the solution and you can be a part of that. And that's where I thank Coach Dee, because even though I just ordered a book out of the blue. Always. I was just simply ordering a book because I'm a supportive person. I just. I just wanted to order a book. I was just ordering a book. I'm just a support, right? And so after ordering a book, I don't know, just out of the blue, maybe a year later, I think you called or we set up a call for something that was not supposed to be anything at all.
Yeah.
Or so we thought.
We were just connecting.
We were just
I
connecting.
Just wanted to connect with her.
That's it. And for me, that was a sign from God that there is a community for you. And I'm just grateful. Yeah. And I will travel. Like I said, listen, we were supposed to fly here. I had a bad experience going to Detroit, had a delay for 12 hours last weekend. So I'm like, you know what? I'm canceling this flight, like we're driving, and I will continue to do that.
Yeah.
As long as we continue to do
And
this.
we've been connected ever since. And as a matter of fact, I am in one of her books. She just released a book. She has it down there. Her hey wifey. Masc Girl Magic, 20 inspiring stories of masculine presenting lesbians. She asked me to be a part of this project. My story is in here along with 19 other masc presenting. Cecily and I have just been inseparable since then. And it's kind of weird. We have this whole synergy where we're texting each other at the same time or we're posting something at the same time. I'm talking about, who are you?
Right.
So we've become really good friends. And I think too, I will give you your flowers. It was also something that I needed, because I've had to remove myself from certain things as I've elevated, and now I get to create my own space with other people who are on the journey. Because as you tell me all the time, this is ministry.
Right.
This is something that I manifested, just being on the stage talking. And even though I don't like talking in front of people, you know, it's growth. So, and I don't plan on it being the last time, but thank you for always being there for me, being a real friend, having my back when I was sick. You know, that's awesome. And
I can't take no more crying right now. I got
I'm
you.
not gonna.
I got you, friend. I got you, friend.
Thank you for being there.
Yeah, and thank you for always being there. Yes.
So, here I go. Look. Thank you, Coach, for seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself. I always knew I wanted to make a change in the world, but I didn't know how I wanted to do that. And I poured into so many people and just took care of them for so long. Aligning with you online, and
it was TikTok, right?
So I found you on TikTok, but it like took me down the rabbit hole. Your podcast, Instagram, Facebook group. I tried to buy a book, and I had my card locked, and it didn't go through. So I was like trying to figure out what happened, and she like almost DMs me almost
okay, because I got this notification.
So, and through this community, I have met, a big thing for me in looking for a life coach, because I've seen a bunch of them online, was local, being local. Because no matter what they were doing, I wanted to be able to support them locally. And so we just happened to connect. And I always thought you were crazy when you said I would heal me, it would heal my daughter, but it's working. You've aligned me with people in my life that showed me that I've just been connecting with the wrong people. Sandy showed up to one of my daughter's competitions, and I've never had a friend that's been there for my child that didn't have kids. So for someone to even say they were interested was like baffling to me. So you really aligned me. Marsha, like, you know, we don't hang out too much. We don't hang out, but every once in a while because we live on all the way the other sides of the town and stuff, but we check in on each other every once in a while. And the community that I've met has been just amazing. And realizing that, yes, it takes a village to raise my daughter, and I don't have to accept everyone's village.
Ooh, that part.
You good?
Y'all might as well pass them out.
I got the tissue box right there.
Oh man, so I'm just grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to connect with all of you. I'm grateful, shout out to the audience. I'm grateful for you guys, and of course Coach Dee. One of the things that always ring in my head that you've always said is just, you're a leader. You know you're a leader, right? You're a leader. embrace it, you know. So, and that's just something that I've always kind of struggled with. Like,
to be like, what?
It's like, yeah, right. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing it anyway. I might as well, you know, put a badge on me. But yeah, I'm just grateful for everything. I'm from New Jersey, so at first I was like, oh man, she's in another state, you know, but it doesn't matter. Like, we're so connected in the tribe. It's like, even if I feel like I don't have anyone around me, I'm like, oh, I can connect. I can connect with the tribe. And you know, to be surrounded by so many like-minded individuals is like, that's something that we all want, you know. And I found it. That's beautiful. Like, I'm grateful. So thank you.
Yes. I'm over here like, what should I say? Now I want to keep it real. You know, I want to keep it really real.
How real?
Yeah, real. No, you know, I think I'm so happy and proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You know, I know a different you. We went to college together.
We hit the block.
I told you my mama was there.
Oh, sorry, Mama. Sorry. We were young, Mama. We were young. Wasn't going to class or nothing.
I mean, she found out eventually. No, we, I think, man, just to be able to see the whole journey, and I think I've been watching you for a long time through social media, just watching your growth and watching, you know, you on your healing journey. And certain times in my life, I would be like, you know, I want to align with what she's doing right now, you know, and it just never connected, and I never understood why. And I think back then, it just wasn't the right time, you know, and I would always, you know, we got a lot of connections, you know, a lot of the same friends, and, you know, everybody have their own experiences with people. And I used to always just say, you know, and I'm a firm believer of how is that person living, because it's going to show up in their results in life. And I'm just like, oh, she living over there. She living, you living, you loving, and it's just showing up in your life. And God aligned for us to meet up now, and I'm just really, really happy to be a part of your harvest season. Yeah.
This is my kink mentor. Oh, Jesus.
Take me too fast now. First off, again, I'm just happy. I'm really happy to be here. I've never been a part of anything like this. I hope to continue to be a part of this, to see it grow, because it's beautiful. It's needed. So we recently connected, and it's just everything just happens when it's supposed to happen. I was just starting something. Like I said, the group started in October, and my purpose aligns very much with yours.
It sure does.
And
I am not guilty of my purpose.
So it was beautiful to see and beautiful to connect, and see you open up in a new light, and accept who you are, and be unapologetic about that. And I think that just further leveled you up as well, because now, like, everyone who is already watching you and being inspired by you is now saying, oh wait, she really out here walking in her truth, like all the way. Like, there's that one little piece, right, that we might be shameful of or anything, because I went through the same thing. I wasn't always Athena. It was there.
Sir, Athena?
Yes. we'll get into that. But I wasn't always that. That took time. I cultivated that. And I had to let go of the judgment. I had to tap that out of my head, out of my mind, and not care. And because at the end of the day, that space is needed as well. You shouldn't feel ashamed of your desires. They're your desires. We all have them. There's nothing to be ashamed about. And it started here. And so to see it with you, and we had just instantly connected, and just to hear, you know, we have our conversations when we talk, and you tell me, you know, your experiences and the things that you've been able to just do. I just think it's beautiful, and I'm here for that. I'm here for this. Like I just wanna be here for all of it and to watch it grow. And thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Or dang, tonight? Ooh, I'm a night owl. Okay, we do events at night, so you know. Hold on, let me put the bands off. Okay, it's event time, y'all. Okay, great. But no, thank you. Really, thank you. Don't laugh.
I had to change my whole schedule around.
Yeah, seriously, like 3-4 in the morning. But anyway, no, seriously, this has been great. And you let me know when the next one is.
Yeah, I will.
Period.
Wow. Well, thank y'all.
Love is one, but I come as many. And I want to let you know that there's some very important women in my life who are responsible for so much of who I am today. And just like I wanted you all here, through me, they and everyone who's ever invested within me made it possible for you to be here because we all wanted you here. You know, there's some rumors out there, I won't talk about how true they are or not, that Resource Center isn't for the community, all of the community. But regardless of how true that may have been at one point in time, I want you all to see this event as a turning point when it comes to any type of gossip like that's out there. Coach Dee, thank you so much. This would have been impossible without you. Impossible. Because show of hands, how many people are here because Coach Dee is here?
Somebody raise their hand.
You know, I want to thank J-Rock with Tins or Chops that's streaming. I want to thank your entire team who's been here. Oh my goodness, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I would have been split in two if it wasn't for all of you. You know, I would have been waddled. I appreciate
Oh, y'all see what I've been dealing with? Man, Sam's, our connection, this last 6 weeks of just putting in this work together, you know, I wouldn't pick another person. Our collaboration, like you match me on so many levels, like from the meetings being on time. Like one time I was late, I was like, and I ain't usually late, but Sam was right there, and I was like, woo, I like this, you know, just from our communication, us working together, the love felt. Sam did a tarot reading on me, like it was beautiful. Like it's just the energy that has been there in our work. Even Cece was surprised. She was like, you all did that? I was like, yeah, so Cece, next time we gonna need a team. But we did it, and you being able to help me bring this vision to life, present it even to, you know, just everybody, and making sure that everything is everything, all the way down to the payment, you feel me? I appreciate that. It's just been lovely just working with you and who you are, and I'm just gonna continue it. Man, you're great, Sam. You're great. And I'm trying not to cry, but you saw me, and I saw you, and it was an instant, let's do this. And you were so curious about why this was such a need and how you could really just help. And I just appreciate that so much. So, y'all give it up for Sam with me.
There's one last thing that I it can be so difficult to reach the people who need services like these the most. We gave these to you knowing that you specifically may not need this information, but maybe there is someone that you know who is isolated, who is alone, who is in need of a service like this. We want all types of people to be in Oakland Place, and especially the type of people who are in this room right now. So please help us make that happen.
Y'all dropping the big guy under there. Y'all, and I'm excited too because I partnered with them as well doing a project. I've partnered with one of their major artists out here, and I'll be on the hologram at the opening. So I'll be at the grand opening. I'll be inviting y'all to that. It's gonna be so dope. I'm just excited for all the alignment and the synergy that's happening for me as I make my way through the community. And I'll continue to have these conversations, bring you all out. Shout out to DJ Kodak. Y'all check out all the vendors. You know, get your money, fitness, suicidal ventures. Studies is in the house with our gear. We got crystals back there. We got what is it? Counseling. Jury, just make the room, just have a good time. Let's network, let's vibe, let's eat. Panel, we need to eat. We need to eat like everybody else. Is there still food?